Joining us with more on the Justice Department, whether it's posing as transparent or actually working toward that end, but blocking the public's view, certainly, of the many unanswered questions about Spygate, former acting U.S. Attorney General Matthew Whitaker. Matt, great to have you with us.
Thanks for having me tonight, Lou.
As you may gauge, I'm a little frustrated with a Justice Department that is moving with so little urgency.
So am I.
And I have every reason to believe that that William Barr is the right man at the right job at the right time. There are too many people I respect immensely who believe that. I accept that. What I can't accept is any more of this nonsense. There's nothing transparent. Why would, for example, we not have the scope memos in front of us right now? Why would that not be in front of the American people?
Right. I'm surprised that they weren't part of Mueller's report. He seems to put every other word into that report in the 448 pages that we saw. And those scope memos are something that I think would illuminate some people as to what the investigation was and what it wasn't.
We think there were two. There were three.
There were scope memos, and one of the things that we one of the things that we will learn in those memos is what crimes were being investigated, and I think to some extent it may or may not help us with the origins of this investigation.
You know what? We don't need to. You know what? We need the right as Americans.
Yeah.
To see these documents. We don't need some elitist nonsense attorneys sitting in some government office deciding who the hell we are and what the hell they are.
But we can agree on one thing that Barr did in the Mueller report should apply to also these scoping memos, and that is to make sure that those that were not implicated or charged with a crime are not named as targets or subjects of this investigation. Because that's what I fear.
We've done to the President of the United States.
Listen, and I don't think we should have. And I think part two of the Mueller report was not only unnecessary, but I think it sets a dangerous standard that now we vet all of the evidence we find against people that are being investigated that aren't charged, and that is very dangerous.
Let me ask you another question. We now have scope memos, not two, maybe three, maybe more. Who knows how often they were adjusting and innovating in the witch hunt, but we also don't know what happened to the Wiener laptop. With all of those emails, all of that evidence, we don't know why the NSA hasn't provided those 33,000 missing Clinton emails and why that isn't available to the American people. This has been a travail without question over the course of 3 years for the American people, for this president, and damn their hide, it's time to act like they're public servants instead of a bunch of elitists who are, having a secret handshake. It's obscene what is happening in this country, and people won't even acknowledge that, for crying out loud.
Well, I don't have any problem acknowledging that the American people deserve absolute transparency, especially on how these investigations were started, how the president was added to the investigation, how the special counsel was appointed, and why. I think these are all questions that we have to have answers to. Some of this is, you either accept what's been laid out. I'm not
going to accept a damn thing.
I think this is what Bill Barr's biggest challenge is restoring the trust in the Department of Justice.
You can't do it unless you're fully transparent. Not just questions you think should be asked, but every question every American has got, and put it on the table.
Yeah.
Do we agree?
I completely agree, and this is one of the things that I've been calling for all along. And pushing for, and asking these same exact questions. When Bill Barr stood in front of the American people and said, I can't get these answers, I'm asking the questions and I can't get the answers, so I'm going to put John Durham to get to the bottom of this, I totally agreed with him, because I had the same problem. I couldn't get any answers to my questions as well.
It's time to raise hell and raise the roof. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Lou.
Matt, and I know that you're giving it your very best effort.